So the next step after laying out the boards is to route all the internal sound chambers. It's kind of boring and it takes a while, so I'm just going to show you the very last step of it. I've already routed out the slow air chambers on them, and I've routed 2/3 of the sound chamber here. And I'm just going to do the final routing to the correct depth of 7/16 of an inch. To make a 7/8 inch diameter, each half has to be 7/16. So this is a jig that I built for this purpose. A lot of people use table routers to do this. I don't have room for one in here. This workshop isn't very big. Plus, I think the table routers are kind of dangerous. I built this jig to fit the lumber that I use. I have 2 different sizes. And it just fits in there perfectly. And I'll put a clamp on it just to try to keep it from going anywhere when you're routing. And this is the router and the router bit. These are dangerous. They spin at 30,000 RPMs, and these blades are pretty razor sharp. But this has to be 7/16 of an inch, which I've already set to that depth. And then I'm going to turn on my vacuum system, which will pick up some of the dust that blows off here. And I also have down below here an air purifier that runs whenever I'm doing sanding. I'm going to turn that on now. It's going to make a lot of noise. Dust mask. Now that we've routed all 4 pieces of the drone flute, the things you want to do is check to make sure that your diameter is correct. So I have these labeled left and right. So these are the 2 right-hand ones. So you're going to put it together like this, and then you're going to take your thing and you're going to see if it's 3/4 or 7/8 of an inch, and that's exactly 7/8, and that's exactly 7/8. So that one's correct. And I do the same with this one. And you put them together, and then measure across, and that is 7/8, and that is 7/8. So we're good. One of the things about using a router is when you're done, and anytime you adjust the size, you want to unplug it, because if it accidentally turned on while you were changing the size, you could lose a finger or 2. So that's how we route the inside. You can see that right there. And the next step is to sand them. So I'm going to put this back in here, and I have some 80 grit sandpaper on a dowel, and you just go back and forth like this. Real exciting stuff. And you do that on all 4 of them, and then I do a 120 grit sandpaper on a dowel to smooth them out. And I'm not going to bore you with that because it takes a while. And the next step after that is I'm going to put 2 to 3 coats of shellac on all the internal chambers. That makes them very smooth, which creates a much clearer sound, the less resistance there is.